Hey guys, Kaz here. Today it is the first Monday of the month, so of course it is a Media Monday time. This is a video that I do every month where I just go through the stuff, the things, the bits and bobs that I've done in that month that is not book related. So yeah, let's get into it. So in April I will start with the films. I watched 2 films, and until I actually thought about it I didn't realise how similar the theming was. So the first film I watched was called Punch. It had Tim Roth in it. I like Tim Roth, so I wanted to watch the film. It was quite funny actually because he's still his southern English self, but it's set in New Zealand, so everybody else is from New Zealand. But in this film it's about him and his son Jim, and he's teaching his son to be a boxer. He's very much a bit of a deadbeat dad. He's just putting all of his eggs in his son being a boxer, and he didn't want his son to like have a life or go out or do anything. He just like, learn to box, be the best boxer ever. Also, I'm a drunk. That sort of business. And then, like I said, it's set in New Zealand and it's about Jim meeting and befriending this Maori lad called Wetu, who sort of lives in the bush pretty much. He's not at home, you just see this little hut that he's got. And yeah, it's about them becoming friends and then potentially more than friends, and also obviously about the boxing and stuff. And yes, I enjoyed it. It was a fun time. I liked Tim Roth. So yes, it was interesting to see a film that's also got a bit of native stuff in. And then I just said the other film I watched had similar vibes. The other film I watched was called Wildhood, and this one's set in Canada, and it's about these 2 brothers who, again, deadbeat dad, but very much more of a deadbeat dad, like beating up sort of deadbeat dad. So yeah, in this one it's Link and Travis, and they're half brothers. Link has some native blood in him. His mum is native Canadian, and all his life he's been told that his mum's dead. But then after a fight he's looking through his dad's stuff and he finds a bunch of letters addressed to him, Link, from his mum, and he's like, what, my mum's alive? So it's this whole journey of him going to find his mum, trying to figure out where she is, and also learn more about his roots. This is about, and correct me if I'm wrong with this pronunciation, I probably will be, I did look it up, but the Mi'kmaq native Canadians, and it's about him learning about his vibe, like what his tribe and who he is, what this other half of him is, and also along the way he meets a native guy and then also they become friends and then maybe more. You know what I mean? It's like there's similar vibes accidentally, but they were both very good. This one though, I was watching it and they did talk like in bits and pieces in Mi'kmaq, and on IMDb it does say that, or in an interview or something with the director, it was like, oh yeah, some of the Mi'kmaq is not translated but some of it is. But then like the version I watched, none of it was. But I kind of didn't mind because it, like, Link didn't know the language either, so it kind of felt like you were on his side of things. You would hear people talking, you didn't know what they were saying, there was no subtitles, so I was like, I kind of didn't mind it because it wasn't too much, there was just a little bits here and there, but I would have also liked to know what they were saying. But either way, I enjoyed that film as well. Next up, we'll talk about a few TV shows that I watched. So first of all, I've for the past few months been rewatching Brassic. So I'd watched up to, I think, like halfway through season 4 before. Basically it's on Now TV and I only have Now TV when they send me an email like, we'll give you it for £1 a month, and I'm like, okay. So I waited for ages, got it again for £1 a month, and then have been rewatching Brassic because season 5 came out and doing it bits and pieces. But in April I watched quite a bit of it, so I'm like partway into season 5 now, so a bunch of ones that I've not seen yet. And yeah, it's just really good. If you've not seen Brassic, watch it. It's Joseph Gilgun, is like partly slightly a little bit based on real life, but also he won't tell you which bits because they very much are doing illegal stuff. So he's like, it's based on real life, but also shh, because, you know. And yeah, I just love Joseph Gilgun in general. The TV show is just so fun, and it just is wacky and silly, but at the same time I'm like, oh, I see the character, I'm like, I know that person, I know that person, I've seen that person, I know who this person is. It feels very real at the same time of being really silly and over the top dramatic. It's just really good. It's just basically about this group of friends who steal things for a living and just their life and dealings, and yeah, it's just really good. That's all I can say. Watch Brassic. Although I am part way in season 5 and it does have a slightly different vibe than the other ones. I don't know, we'll see when I finish the season 5, but it feels slightly different. And I don't know what yet. But yeah, boom, really good, Brassic, love it, great time. Another thing I watched, as well as like everybody in the whole world, Baby Reindeer. Don't really have to talk about that much, it's like the biggest thing on Netflix at the moment. It's based on this comedian's real life, bits and pieces and changed and stuff to try and make you not know who it is, but then there's also loads of stuff in the media about the real life woman. Basically it's about him and how this woman stalked him for a while. And obviously he said he's trying to change bits and pieces, trying to make it not obvious who it is. He didn't want people to look into it, but of course everybody's trying to figure out who the real person is. And then the real person is like, this is not how stuff happened, I want my say. It's like a big thing at the moment. I don't know if it will be in other countries because it's based in England, so like it's all in the media and stuff, on Twitter, on the news cycles. Not like real news I don't think, but when you're checking your emails and stuff and the news is there, it's like, oh, the woman, the real life Martha. So yeah, there's a lot of drama going around it at the moment, but it was a really good show. And people just need to accept that and stop trying to dig into the real life stuff that happened. Because also in the show, there's a sexual assault that happens to him and people have been trying to figure out who that is, and then a wrong guy got, like everyone was piling onto this guy saying, oh, this is definitely the guy, and then Richard, who was the creator of the show, was like, that's not that guy, leave him alone. So yeah, people need to like calm the fuck down. But it was a really good show and it did make me cry. It was very like emotional, a lot of stuff happened. And it's written in a way that nobody necessarily seems like the 100% bad guy or good guy, which is really good. He's not trying to be like, oh, this person stalked me and I'm the victim and they're horrible. He very much portrays himself as like also not a good person, also doing stuff that's probably not the best, also kind of like almost in a way enjoying it. And it's really good to show these different emotions, that it's not all black and white. And also people need to calm down in real life. But yeah, really good. I can see why it's gone massive and big. Good times. Another thing I watched was this TV show, a limited series I'm gonna guess just by the way it's done, called Clickbait. This was a thriller that came out a few years ago, and basically the first episode, there's a woman, she's a nurse and she's doing some nursey things, and then the person she's doing the nursey stuff to is watching a video, and it's this guy holding up a sign saying, when this video reaches 5 million views I think, I'm gonna get killed because I'm a bad person. And it's her brother in the video. So it's all kicking off, everyone's trying to figure out what's going on, where is he, why has he got taken, did he actually do a bad thing, is it like a thing that happened in his past? So his family is very much sort of like in victim mode, that they are the victim that this family has happened, but also loads of people are like, oh, he must have done something bad for this to be happening to him. So it's like, there's a lot going on there, there's a lot of feelings and things. And the way the series is done, it's like each episode is told from a different perspective in the show. So like one of it's the sister, one of it's the son, one of it's the wife, one of it's the detective guy. I think one of them is a journalist. Like each episode is told by a different person in the story. And yes, it was an interesting time. It was a bit different, something a bit random. And yeah, I enjoyed it. The ending was a bit like, I feel like some people, I did read a few reviews. I like watching stuff and then seeing what people think of it. And some people didn't like the ending. I didn't mind the ending. So it's all different for different people. But I thought, like, there were some things I agree with, like, why did that happen? Why didn't you do this? Why did you do that? I agreed with. But also, you know, it's a TV show, so sometimes stuff happens in a weird way to make stuff happen, and then but I enjoyed it. It was a time that I enjoyed. Another thing I watched, I know there's a lot of watchy things in this one, but obviously Heartbreak High season 2 came out in April, so I watched all of that. It was so good. I loved Heartbreak High. A couple of months ago I rewatched season 1 because I knew that season 2 was coming, so everything was fresh in my mind. And this is a TV show, I think it's Australian. I feel like either, I'm thinking Australian or New Zealand. It's definitely one of them, but I can't remember. I feel like it's Australian. But yeah, it's just like one of those sort of high school shows, and it's all about all the different characters. and season 1 was really good, and season 2 was really good, and I very much enjoyed it. It's just one of those shows that's so bingeable, and all the characters I enjoyed. Stuff happened, things existed. There was a little sort of twist in the season. Who is this person? Basically in the first episode, like dead birds are being left and notes towards a person, and then they're trying to figure out who the person is sending the notes and the dead birds. And yes, like a little way through I thought it's that person, and it was that person, but I still had a very enjoyable time getting to that place. And just all the side quests, all the different characters, all their different relationships. It's just a really good, enjoyable show. So yeah, I had a good time. And then the last show I watched is Dead Boy Detectives, and I really enjoyed this one. So basically, I was meant to go for a meal with some friends. That fell through. One of them, like, something happened, so we decided to just push it and all go to on a different day. So instead I just spent the whole day watching the whole series of Dead Boy Detectives, because I had booked the next day off work. So I was like, I'm just gonna sit here and watch this, and I loved it. It was so fun. It's just really fun and campy, and it's about these ghosts. It's called Dead Boy Detectives. It's about these 2 dead boys and they're detectives, funnily enough. And it's just really good. I really enjoyed it. I loved the characters. I loved all the stuff was happening. I love how like tongue-in-cheek it was. Certain stuff looks scary, but at the same time the way it's done is just really humorous and silly as well. And it's just really good. And you know what Netflix is like. Fingers crossed for a season 2. Hopefully the fact that it's connected to Sandman will mean it gets a season 2. But that doesn't mean anything. So we shall see. But I feel like even if it doesn't get a season 2, which I would very much love, it is a contained story. Watch it, even if you're scared, like, I'm not going to watch anything until Netflix says yes, it's going to get a season 2. Just watch it, because it's really good and fun. And yeah, a great time. I loved it. It's so fun. Right, now I'm going to head on over to a message for one of the spotties, and then I'll be back with some other things that are not so watchy related.
Why are you just fighting in grass?
So in April I only did 1 gig, and this was Pierce Vale at the Motorpoint Arena in Nottingham. So first support was Holding Absence. There'll be pictures up here as I'm talking. These guys, I've heard of them, but I'd never really like listened to them before, but I had a good time. They were really fun. They were really good, energetic, fun time. But there was like one guitarist it was a really big stage because it's an arena, and there was like one of the guitarists on one of the sides was always back here, and I'm like, bro, come closer, you're on a big stand on the little risers, enjoy it, come on. And also stand up there so I can get a cool picture, you know what I mean? But yeah, they were really good. The audience really loved them as well, so it was nice to see that even though they were the first support, the opening act, that a lot of people there were clearly already fans and had a very good time. And the second support were called Dayseeker. I'd never heard of these guys before, but they were so good. Like, the singer's voice is just like it's just perfection. He was just like insanely good live. But yeah, these guys were really good as well. I feel like the audience didn't know these as much, but I mean, after that performance, I'm sure loads of people are now fans because they were just so good. And I feel like the same side of the stage, the same, like, that guy was also a bit like, I'm over here playing guitar, and I'm like, bro, come forward, enjoy your experience. But some people are shy, so it makes sense. But also come over here so I can take pictures, you know what I mean? And then obviously the main act were Pierce the Veil, and I think the last time I photographed these were like 9 years ago or something mental like that. It was a long time ago at Rock City. And yeah, they were fun. They were enjoying the stage. There was cannons and stuff going off and confetti and all that jazz. All the things you like to see. And yes, it was quite funny though, because they had the worst lighting of the 3 bands, even though they're the main guys. The first song was like no front lighting. I was like, bro, what are you doing? Well, then luckily the second and third song, because when you're photographing gigs you get the first 3 songs, if you didn't know that already. So yeah, luckily the other 2 had some decent lights so I could get some pictures. But yes, it was a really good time. I was there with my photography pals. We had a good time. We was hanging out before and in between and stuff. So yeah, a really good time. And I like the arena. It's only my second time doing the arena. The first time was Enishkari a couple of months ago. You would have seen it in Media Monday from then. So yes. In April, we ended up doing 2 escape rooms as well. Both of them were at the same place actually. So it is Escape Lincoln, the Vulcan Park one. But like some of the things they said, I think they're breaking away from Escape Lincoln. I think they're being their own thing, because at Vulcan Park it's really cool because there's like axe throwing, there's a crazy golf. So I think they're just like being their own thing. They've put in 3 new escape rooms and it's like under their own thing rather than in the Escape Lincoln franchise. So yeah, at the time of speaking, it's Escape Lincoln Vulcan Park version, because there's 2 locations. But yeah, the first one we did was the police van, no, prison van, it's what it's called, and it's set in an old prison van. So you each get individually locked into one of the little van bits and then have to get out. Obviously it's an escape room. But yeah, this one, it was funny because my mum, bless her, she was in one of the little rooms for so long because one of the puzzles was done, but my sister has really crap wrists. She has like, well, she thought she had carpal tunnel, but then it turns out it's not even that, so she, like, they don't even know what's wrong with her. That's why she hasn't done any books recently as well. Sort your arms out, Kay, stop walking everywhere. But yeah, she completed one of the puzzles but then like couldn't open the thing, so she thought she'd done it wrong because her little stupid hands don't work properly. So my mum was locked into the room for ages, and then eventually I came and opened it for her and I was like, oh, so yeah, that was quite funny. But yeah, this was a bit of a different one. Like I say, it was inside an old prison van. It wasn't the hardest, it was sort of middle ground, I guess. And yeah, it was something a bit different. And then the second one we did was the Plaza Casino, Plaza Casino, I think is what it's called. And this one was quite different as well, because we've never done one where it's about how much money you steal. So this one is, it's not like get out the room in the quickest time you can, it's get as much money as you can in the hour. So that was kind of interesting because we've never done one like that before. So you have to break into the casino and then get as much money as you can. So there's like 2 parts of this. And yeah, this one was a bit different. We did manage to get all of the money because we do a lot of escape rooms. So it was a fun time. And yeah, something a bit different. There are loads of sort of bank robbery, these sort of ones. We've never really gravitated towards them, but it's something a bit different. So hopefully we'll do another few in the future. And yes, that is the end of the escape rooms for this month anyway. So yeah, those were the things I did, the things I watched, the things that I photographed, and say some words if you want. It's there, that's what it's there for. What did you do in April? Did you go anywhere fun? Did you do anything fun? Did you watch anything fun? What should I watch? Is there any, you got any recommendations? Down there if you want. Do the things if you want, subscribe if you want, like if you want, comment if you want, but only if you want. And I'll be back in a few days, probably with either my haul or my wrap up, one of the 2. But be here or be square. Bye.